Hi guys, so I'm gonna read Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Per your instructions, I sent a copy of the bylaws to Agent Murch. The original was sent by armed courier to the mansion.
Fantastic. Thank you, Pepper.
Remember, you still need to meet with Mr. Caton in accounting on the funding issue. Good night, Mr. Stark. Even more questions about the nature of this new endeavor, in which 5 superpowered beings have announced their intention to band together in an official capacity. The President is expected to comment later tonight.
Come on, Vinny. Time for a gut check.
One shot? All your balls? In one shot? You got a bet, Barton.
Ted Bales is live on Fifth Avenue. Ted?
Maya, behind me sits the mansion built in 1932 by Howard Stark, now owned by his grandson, Anthony, CEO of Stark Industries. Stark's bodyguard has, so far, been the public face of this newly announced organization, as well as being a founding member. Other members have been arriving throughout the day. The mysterious individual known only as Thor arrived at the mansion this afternoon, but his appearance paled in comparison to who soon followed.
Too easy. Guess I'll have a beer on you, Stinky. You trying to catch flies there?
Perhaps the most controversial member was captured in this amateur video footage, as he literally landed on 71st Street. The Hulk has had several run-ins with the U.S. military in the past few months, and a recent rampage in the Detroit auto plant seemed to serve as the catalyst for this gathering. Still, his appearance at this meeting is sure to raise eyebrows. This, despite Iron Man's assurances during a press conference at Stark Industries yesterday.
Whatever's on tap, Sid. The Hulk is not a menace. His recent presidential pardon merely reinforces our position. He is one of us. We're willing to stake our burgeoning reputations on his virtues as a hero. Bad move, Tin Horn.
Here you go, Clint.
So how about it, Sid? Think these guys are on the level?
You first.
Well, I'm not sure I'm into the whole elitist vibe they got going on. The mansion, Stark's bodyguard spearheading the whole thing.
Political pundits are offering their analysis.
It's worse than that, kid. That is serious power holding up in that house. Who's to stop him from, I don't know, taking over completely? You gonna take him on?
Now that's pessimistic. You know, they might just be as altruistic as they say they are. That'd be something.
And their hope is that, in the coming weeks, we'll all learn more about exactly who these Avengers are. Right now, we simply don't know much.
I'm sure we're all aware of what's being said about us. They're suspicious. No doubt about it. Suspicious about our intent. Suspicious about this meeting. Heck, they're suspicious of us. We'll definitely have to win the public's trust. I'm fairly certain that'll come in time. But it'll take effort on our part. And it's not simply about going out and fighting the good fight. We have to take measures to ensure our ability to operate with the least amount of outside interference. Between Tony Stark and myself, we've done everything we can on that front. I can tell you unequivocally that the suspicion I referred to doesn't end with the general public. It goes all the way up to the highest levels of government. And believe me, those negotiations are shall we say, ongoing. Luckily, Mr. Stark knows his way around a Politico's office. This long-winded preamble is my way of letting you all know how seriously I'm taking this. We're doing something monumental here. Something this uncertain society needs. I'd also like to introduce you to Edwin Jarvis, senior staff member here at the mansion. He'll be passing out important documents that we need to go over. Folks, we've just upped the ante in the superpowered community. We are no longer 5 desperate heroes struggling to find our place in this new world of possibilities. From this moment on, we're Avengers. These envelopes contain both our charter and a proposed draft of our bylaws. I don't want you to feel like I'm hitting you with a stack of rules right off the bat. But based on initial talks at the White House, Mr. Stark's lawyers have laid out specific points of interest that we should discuss among ourselves immediately.
Whatever.
Said organization being recognized and fully sanctioned as a peacekeeping force by the National Security Council. The NSC is really on board with this.
Authorized to function in all lands, territories, and protectorates of the U.S., all countries allied with the U.S. by international treaty, all countries affiliated with the United Nations. Looks pretty official, hon.
'Tis a litany of nonsense, to mine eyes. I, for one, shalt not succumb to the hypocrisy of Midgard bureaucracy. I appreciate your concern, Thor, and I'm not thrilled about getting in bed with the NSC either, but it's a necessary evil if we're to be granted A1 security clearance, otherwise known as Avengers priority status, exemptions from restricted air traffic regulations, access to government databases, exclusive communications channels, all of them essential for us to do our jobs effectively. And we don't have it yet. At the moment, we're on a probationary period, for lack of a better term.
No Avenger shall be required to surrender knowledge of his or her civilian identity or personal affairs to the membership at large or the NSC. Well, that's pretty cool.
You would say that, you little. That's right, Rick. Privacy is of the utmost importance to people in our profession. Now, you've all got copies of the charter, but this is the original, printed on special parchment. There's a space at the bottom for all of us to sign. Wasp?
There. Much better. I was just wondering, is this legal? I mean, by signing a binding contract?
It's not quite a contract, per se. Think of it as a declaration, a statement of intent. Our intent. Ant-Man, what do you say?
You sure you don't want me to read that for you, big guy?
Shut up. So, what is our intent, Rustpot?
'Tis obvious. We shall combat the foes no single warrior could ever withstand, no matter the personal cost. 'Tis our destiny to protect those in need, the innocent, the meek, on this world and worlds beyond. Right. That's certainly one way to put it.
Well, I'm convinced. The sooner we can get past these administrative hassles, the sooner we can get to work for real.
Hand over that pen when you're done, handsome.
Thank you both. I'm anxious to get started, too. Once I get back to NSC, our computer systems will go online, allowing us to constantly monitor activity worldwide.
I can't believe you guys are really doing it. After Detroit, I sure wouldn't have figured on all this. But it's going to be amazing. And to think it all started with my distress call.
So, I gotta write my name?
And let's not forget the attendant celebrity that'll come with this job. I mean, between Tony Stark and the business side, and our own very own Norse god, we've got a pretty photogenic crew here.
Wasp, I can understand the lure of fame, but we need to keep things in perspective. And I don't want to see anyone signing any endorsement deals. That's no way to earn the public's trust.
You mean like working for Stark Industries, maybe?
Your conviction doth inspire me, Iron Man. Let this day commemorate a great undertaking, as we each earn our place in Valhalla. Big talk, fancy pants. Fact is, we ain't ever gonna get that trust from anyone. And I ain't signing squat.
Don't pay any attention to him. I'll sign his name.
Hey! You ain't my Agent Jones! Don't be stupid, Hulk. This is the opportunity of a lifetime for you. Unless you want to spend the majority of your time sparring with the military. Oh, you call it stupid!
Hey, come on, man.
You want to lose those hands, kid? Don't you get it? We're going to bat for you, staking our reputation on who asked it to. This behavior, 'tis egregious. Thou shalt both stand down. Thor, stay out of this, Curly. This is between me and... I do not voice my opinion twice, brute. Huh. So that's how it is. I don't need this from any of you.
Sorry about that, folks. He gets emotional sometimes. If he didn't, he wouldn't need me hanging around, making sure he doesn't screw up again. He'll come around, though. I'll make sure of it. This is too important.
Let's hope so, Rick.
I think that's our cue, Iron Man. I wouldn't call this meeting a total disaster. There's always a learning curve to these things. Let us know when the computer systems are up and running. I want to network with my lab. Until next time.
Not a total disaster.
Don't sweat it. This is legendary, man. Hey, where'd Thor go?
Meeting adjourned. Interesting reading, Jarvis?
Very interesting, sir.
I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not. Judging by that meeting, I wouldn't blame you if it was.
Certainly not. If I may, sir, for 5 headstrong personalities to find common ground is not a feat in itself, and not an easy one.
That's for sure. 2 insect heroes, one who claims godhood, a loud-mouthed, uncontrollable thug, and a rich industrialist bodyguard. Quite the mix, eh?
I'll place this in the main study. It's a noble document, sir. It will surely serve to inspire others.
I hope you're right.
Cresskill, New Jersey. So Ant-Man and Wasp are in tiny form in this part, so I'm just going to do the tiny voices.
Well, I doubt that will be remembered as our finest hour. I think we got a lot done, Hank. We signed the charter. We toured the mansion.
Sure. I think I'm going to head into the lab for a while. You go on to bed, though.
Typical workaholic. Darn it, Hank. Why don't you tell me when I look this awful? That skull cap wrecks my hair.
Sorry, Jan. You know me. Always sacrificing the little details for the sake of the big picture. You know, sitting at that meeting table, looking around at the others, I don't know. I just felt they're real heavyweights, Jan.
You're still the champ to me. Forget the lab for tonight. It's late.
There's got to be something more. The formula I used to get us back to normal size, if I can tweak it a little at the molecular level, maybe I can get bigger than that.
Bigger than normal? That's the best opening for a double entree I heard in months. Hey, are you okay?
Perfectly fine, Miss Van Dyne.
Charmer. Now take your medicine like a man.
You mean like a giant man? Stark Industries. 2 weeks later.
Ah, it's you. I was expecting your boss at this meeting. After all, it's his head on the chopping block if this all goes south. Something's different. New hairstyle? Upgrades. Standard for any area of technology. And Mr. Stark gives us an inordinate amount of time. To our causes, that is. Well, you could certainly use them now. This Hulk business has become a PR nightmare for you and your crew. Your green-skinned boy went on a rampage in Midtown Manhattan. Scared the hell out of the locals. It didn't work out with the Hulk, and he is no longer on our roster. We're looking into his retroactive removal and his participation, and all pertinent documents. Now, Agent Murch, on the subject of Special Agent Murch, let's not forget that. And let's not change the subject either. You went on national television endorsing that Neanderthal. The public still thinks he's your responsibility. Speaking for the National Security Council, we're not happy. Join the club. Don't expect sympathy here. Your Q rating is in the toilet. You thought it was bad when you announced this little alliance? About the priority status. The brass ring. If you think that kicking the Hulk out makes everything alright, you're sadly mistaken. I don't care how many munitions deals your boss has cut with the Pentagon to clear your path. As long as he's running loose out there, I wouldn't count on any favors from this office. Are we clear? I understand, Special Agent Murch. And I want to assure you, we'll handle it. See that you do. The only silver lining in this whole fiasco is that if anyone can bring in the Hulk, it's you people. Unless you want military backup. I said, we'll handle it.
And so there's this big scene where I think this is supposed to be an adaptation of the events in Hulk or Avengers #3, which I've already read. But yeah, it's so Hulk's like throwing a train at the Avengers. And he's like,
The Hulk is not a menace. His recent presidential pardon merely reinforces our position. He is one of us. We're willing to stake our burgeoning reputations on his virtues as a hero. Furthermore, let me say, boop.
Hey there. We did the best we could. He's a savage. There was hardly a moment to breathe.
Don't patronize me!
What?
I don't need you telling me! Giant man, hold thy tongue. You will show respect to your fellow Avenger. Or else. So speaks Thor. So speaks Thor. What the devil is going on back here? Is it not enough that we got trashed by our former teammate? Now we're having a go at each other? There is no shame when we have fought with honor. This bickering is not the way of warriors, fresh from battle. I shall not stand idly by whilst... Get off your high horse, Thor. Even I'm admitting we can't spin this in our favor. You had him, and you let him go. What were you thinking? Look, everyone. The repercussions of this catastrophe are much greater than you realize. I'm sorry, hon. Really, You're all aware that we've yet to be granted our priority status. There's an agent at the NSC, Murch. He's being assigned to us. And it's at his discretion whether or not we get that security clearance. He's using this Hulk situation against us. Our inability to contain him will no doubt affect Murch's decision. At this point, I don't think even Tony Stark will be able to finagle this for us. In a word, we're screwed. Then, perhaps this alliance was made in haste.
What? You didn't just say that. Don't you realize that this is too important to give up on now? I mean, what kind of a god are you?
Do not test me, woman. Don't even think about it, Thor. She's right, and you know it. Try using your head for a minute. Thy tone is insulting. I do not allow such disrespect. Is that a fact? You know, that hammer doesn't give you the right to lord yourself over anyone in here. Unless you plan on using that thing on me now. I will not fight you. Thank God. Look, maybe I can rig a gamma tracer to get a bead on the Hulk's movements before the rest of you have some kind of meltdown.
Hey, just because you and your boss are letting the NSC run roughshod over your bloated egos.
Back off, giant man. Just who the hell do you think you...
Beep, 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 beep.
That alarm. The solar net.
Is something out there?
What the... Port side. Ahead 100 meters. It's not marine life. Spectral analysis is picking up. I don't believe it.
So there's Captain America in the ice under the water. But anyway, to be continued. Joe Casey, writer. Scott Collins, art. Maury Hollowell, color art. Richard Starkings, letterers. Andy Schmidt and Nicole Wiley, assistant editors. Tom Brevoort, editor. Joe Quesada, editor-in-chief. Dan Buckley, publisher. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. If you have any requests you want me to do, just tell me down in the comments below and I'll tell you the date I can do the requests by. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.